Alright, I believe we were in the middle of a court case. The court section. I can't remember, we got to like a whole, a cliffhanger there, but I can't fully remember what it was. um, I guess we proved that there were shots during the second set, which I think that's what it was. And Darian's trying to talk his way out of it, so let's see what happens. Where did I save it? Load. There you go. I think it's this one. Oh, there we go. I believe it's this here. He's trying to give us proof of his innocence. I hope this was it. Yeah, okay. That was the right one. Proof of innocence. Come on. Why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that Diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes. Not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find a motive. Okay, why would I want to kill that manager? Her manager, sure, but Mr. Latouche was... Oh right, sorry, an Interpol agent, wasn't he? I just have trouble picturing that big lunk as an undercover cop, you dig? And not a very good one, seeing as how he got wasted. That's cold, dog. Not that it matters either way. See, I had no reason to kill the man, whatever he was. No motive. But that's the same for Machi. No motive was proven for him. Come on, he traveled around the world with that old fart. He had plenty of time to come up with a motive of his own. Ugh! More than I sure did. I mean, think about it. This was that Diva's first trip to this country. Darian, you're a detective with international affairs? Yeah, what of it? Even if this was Mr. Latouche's first trip to this country, you still could have met him prior to the concert. Huh? Or don't you take any international trips in international affairs? That's right. Well, Detective Crescent? That's your game, is it? Guess I'd better confess then. Confess? Yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment, but I've never been sent overseas. What? But you're an international... See, me and Plains got a difference of opinion. We don't like each other much. My condolences, Hair Forehead, but he's telling the truth. He's never set foot outside of the country, I can guarantee it. As it turns out, my division has plenty of work to do locally as well. That's so unfair. How could I possibly know the manager? So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert? Fraternize? I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see... If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? You sure about that? What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you. Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations. I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget you're accusing... Who you're accusing of what. Hair forehead. Perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So he's using this motive question as ammunition, huh? Well, I got ammunition too. Evidence! Oh, so we have evidence that proves he had a motive? Can I see this mysterious evidence, please? Is it for the cocoon? Possibly? I don't know. Let's see. Save it. I'm gonna present this. Ah, yeah! Your Honor, take a look at this! What is that? It looks like candy! It's not. Don't lick it, please. The victim saw him kill the skunk he put on top of his head. That's when it was decided he must also die. Oops. Hey Shot, how are you doing? Let's see, Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It's a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? You want some evidence, Candy? Me too! I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Surely this has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does! Wait, I mean, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently it is the most efficacious at I have no idea. Efficacious is how I'm saying it. At treating a disease thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it's illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. Ridiculosity. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. Cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but truly noted. Duly noted? I didn't see that. I'm trying to read this way too fast. I need to slow down. I need to stop drinking coffee. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. You need to drink more coffee. No. I think my heart would explode. Cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons.
Hold it!
That memo. That's how you knew about the cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've never heard of them. Well, Lammy knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, and that's all. Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. There's a lot of things that you need to be embarrassed about. You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. But that includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too, for that matter. Yeah. So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche? All over the world, likely. Deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You don't want Interpol sniffing through your wares. Most came to the conclusion that you can't sell them on the black market because it's too dangerous. Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair, too. Who's on trial here again? Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey! You can say what you want about me, but back off international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to, Down, Darian, it's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, and Borginian Customs are all watching. See, we know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. Why I oughta. Oughta what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Grr, screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to this motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he's up to. Well, let's see, I don't think anything could be said faster than I can say objection. Let me look at it. Are there fingerprints? I don't think there's any fingerprints. Just the word sample. What is the point of looking at this? Maybe I just show him the newspaper. But if it's not the newspaper, then I haven't a clue. I don't know what else I could show. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Justice. Ugh! Might be on the wrong track. Yeah, duh. I'm gonna try it here. And I'm gonna save it this time. I don't want too many penalties. Damn. I haven't a clue what I'm supposed to show. My bracelet didn't react at all, did it? No, it didn't. I wish they would empty out any useless evidence that I don't need anymore. I think there was only one case they ever actually did that. I don't even remember when it was. It's gotta be about this newspaper. I can't think of anything else. Objection! We're gonna show this newspaper everywhere. Already done that one. Objection! There we go. The badge! Why didn't I think of that? Oh. I missed that first part. I would. Okay. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article! That's about the Chief Justice's son. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease Chief the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You're saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband? Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First, I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well? Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Borganian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about Cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Okay, Borganian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Just how strict is this customs check? Way strict. They keep planes on the ground for hours. I do recall it being a bit extreme. They were even confiscating gumdrops and marshmallows. Yes, it would be hard to distinguish them. That's right, Gavin was in Borginia, wasn't he? I remember setting off the metal detectors several times. I had to practically strip naked to walk through. Oh, okay. Here's a travel tip for you, Gavin. Leave the bling at home, you glimmerous fop. Let's see. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. That's pretty extreme. Borginia has this rep as an idyllic, laid-back place. Truth is, they're beyond hardcore with security. The Republic of Borginia is a peaceful, pleasant country, so this level of security shows us how truly concerned they are about these cocoons. That's the situation. If there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. So he's confessing! Nah. You're in a position to know quite a bit about smuggling. Yeah, I need to know a bit for work, sure, but all we get are reports on the failed smuggling ops. Not exactly something you want to go copying, but if you want, I can tell you a few of them. Maybe you'll succeed and get rich. I would be interested in hearing, purely from a legal perspective, of course. I weep for our judicial system. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. Do I show the cocoon again? Because he obviously got out of there with the sample. I don't know. Darn. I'll go ahead and take the penalty. That statement contradicts this evidence. It does. Think before you make accusations, Mr. Justice. Ack! Didn't go so well. Very thorough. Well, what's this? I wonder if this sample is really real. Nah, it's plastic, I think.
Objection!
Darn. Was it one? Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't take that second penalty. Oops. Let's see. If there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. Oh, let's see.
Objection!
You know, they said he was clutching the keys. Like he didn't want the murderer to get the keys. What is it about the keys? Whoops. Is it the keys? Was it in the guitar? The cocoon? I don't think so. I was right! Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. Oh, that's right. He had it specially delivered. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? Ah! Ah! I don't believe it! Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lammy. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Borginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lammy's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets of vacuum packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was laced with cocoons? With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. Whoa, 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 what? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Hair Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this in fact. An igniter? Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if the igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? He means this, of course. Ah! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access, like a member of the band. York! It's all floppy. Your hair's going flaccid, dude. Order, order, order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, hair forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lammy's... something... First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see, but things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah! Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was on to something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over! Press the switch! Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died, with Lammy there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Pfft! The Republic of Borginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that kid. For that kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Borginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lammy heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch. Now! You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it. Coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? I think it was Hachimachi, but I'm not 100% sure.
Take that!
There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant Hachimachi. Machi Tobias. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lammy? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it is useless. Yes, that is true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lammy was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram again. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. While looking at this, it seems that Lammy still could have done the deed. No, when the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and Lammy stand-in were on it. They were on a tower which stood 7 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lammy's position in the air vent. Ah! Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time. Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. Ah, too bad, so sad, punk. Punk. First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We're all musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set off that igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? We had to listen to this so many times, and it takes so much time to get through it. What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man! You still don't get it? No, it would not go faster if I sang it. Yeah, how is he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the diva. Lammy. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. Ugh. Urgh. Did you already forget where we found the switch? Why are we watching this again? The piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed the switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice! If Machi Tobias didn't press that switch, then he cannot be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press the switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant, Machi Tobias, the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed the switch. Well, you'd better find a way to prove it. Arrgh! What do I do? What do I do? Eck, there has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd? Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this? Can you prove Machi Tobias pressed the switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tobias pressed the switch? Let's save it. Let's look at the court record. I don't know. If it's this first part or the beginning of the next one. Oh, right there. I think. It sounded like he pressed a third key that didn't sound right with the other two. Because, I mean, when we found the switch, it was inside the piano, and it made the piano sound weird whenever Trucy, I think, was trying to play the piano. Did I save it? I think I did. I can prove it! I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Here, Forehead, you sure about this? Ha! Accept it, there's no evidence, man! Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch? Do I present this or do I check first? Let me save it again. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part. Around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flames. Okay, I guess it was later. Oh, so right there. I hear a piano being played, but doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. Well, I guess I was right, but wrong in what I was saying. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. And he could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. And what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Er, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with 1 hand or 2? You can't! I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with 1 hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No, no way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with 1 hand, right before the guitar burst into flames. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. What? I guess I've got to prove what section it was. Let me hear it again. I still say it's here, because he... It sounds like he didn't press all the buttons, all the keys correctly in that one spot.
Take that!
That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin? It's a beautiful song and the lyrics are outstanding. I'll take that to mean there wasn't a problem in this section at all. Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it. I suppose you don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with 1 hand. Show us the... So this... I was right, right? Or did I have to press it right where it was? Well,
Take that!
the first half of the second verse. Second verse. That was where the second verse was. I'll just keep clicking all the other sections.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you realize it yourself, Hair Forehead. Realize what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Man, 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 how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? That's what I'm saying. You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flames at the very end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." Ah, play verse 2 again. Ah. There, did you hear it? They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. Hurrah! Well, what's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh! Oh! That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different? I asked myself. Now ask yourself why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to, well, and work! Order, order, order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though, personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. Huh. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Huh. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Hair Forehead. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you've yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But 1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if he did, we'd already have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said. It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck, and be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy, something fatal. So can I get back to work now, or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this dead-weight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice? We've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice! If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo! What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry, and I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Hair Forehead. You're accusing this man Darian Crescent of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honor. Then let's have it. Show us the basis of these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is... I don't know. I don't think I have evidence. Or else we would have been able to show it. Maybe we had to call Machi as a witness? Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice, who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt? Valiant Gramarye. I don't know, it might be. I don't know how it could be. The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobias. Your client again? Machi Tobias was an accomplice in the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the operation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Aha, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machi Tobias acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Borginian law. Ah. Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ugh! The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia. And and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but... But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobias. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Tobias knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion, real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Please! Whoa. Don't talk! Jesus. Darian. I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. There's some good air guitar. He's been doing it, like, throughout the whole trial. Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk? You tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning, I knew. Machi. Situation. I cannot explain, but money. I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobias? Yes? I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. Oh, he took his glasses off. I thank you. He's so cute. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth. That's her job. Very well. This court finds the defendant Machi Tobias not guilty! Court is adjourned. July 10th, 4:42 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. I wonder what will happen to Machi. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there will be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lammy? Mai, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do. Yet, something got a hold of him. Something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You've given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lammy lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? That's right, she's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lammy! I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I needed to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy. I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too! And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the Guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have him catch the killer at the end. The end. Yay, we did it! Machi was an orphan. He doesn't have parents. He was living with Lammy, because they were friends or something, I don't know. Like, they became famous or whatever, so I guess they decided to live together. She took care of him. Or he took care of her, I don't know. She's blind. Ow. Turnabout succession. Let's see, save? Yes. Who, Trucy? Well, we don't know. But we found out that, I don't know if you're here for that, but we found out that, Phoenix is not her real dad. Her real dad is dead. Alright, let me save it through the emulator. We gotta... I don't know, I guess let's go ahead and start this one. Turnabout succession. And that is the whole truth of this case. Mason's system. What is this? In order to understand it myself, I had to know the story of these last 7 long years. Nothing happens by chance. All is connected. And now, you stand ready to begin the final chapter of this story. It's Squid Girl. Will the defendant be found guilty or innocent? The decision is yours. October October 7th, 10:37 a.m. Write Anything Agency. Hey, Apollo, look on TV. Look, look! Yeah, I'm kind of busy. Whoa, look at that! He's the last Grammary, alright? Amazing! Apollo, you should be watching this! Ow, 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 ow. What? What? I was writing about our last case in my journal. Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. And why now? That case was 3 months ago. Hey, it's a long story. I did a lot, you know. I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. Right now, I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lammy disappeared. That's right. Uncle Valent did the illusion too. But you're missing him on TV right now. I was just getting to the good part. I suppose I should watch a little TV with her. After all, her father's expecting me to look after her while he's away. Let's see, what you're now seeing is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth. Happening right here at our very own Sunshine Coliseum. The Sunshine Coliseum? Hey, that's where the Governor's concert was. Only 3 more days until the miracles happen here, right before your unbelieving eyes. The legendary troupe Grammary is performing for the first time in 7 years. That's gonna be great! I'm so there. You and Daddy are coming too, right? The legendary Grammarys. If Trucy's real father were still alive, he'd be on that stage performing miracles. I've got the tickets and everything! Here's yours, Apollo! Magic show ticket received. Yay! Squeak? You are here, working hard or hardly working? Hey, how have you been? Hi there, stranger! Not exactly the kind of greeting I'd want to hear from my own kid. Though he has been gone a long time. Hahaha, how goes it, Trucy? Here, I got a present for you. Yay, pudding! I love pudding! Ooh, it's farm fresh! And not just 1 pudding, but 3 whole cups! I'll have to pace myself. Well, I'm beat. That's right, Daddy, you're on a top secret mission. You gotta take it easy with the secrets, you know. Ahaha, how right you are. So, you still can't tell us what your mission is? Maybe it is time. It has something to do with you, anyway. Huh? With me? Ooh, maybe you're getting a top secret mission too! Maybe you can be one of those guys. A spy! Can't it just be a defense attorney? To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. What? Tell me, you've heard of the jurist system, yes? The jurist system? That's right, the new legal system everyone's talking about. Have you heard of it, Apollo? Huh? Maybe. Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. The jurist system, huh? Well, tell me, what is it? The jurist system. So, Daddy, what's this jurist system thing? Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is? I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in a court in those old courtroom dramas? The ones who get to decide if a guy's innocent or guilty? Do you know Apollo? Only from TV. It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling the new system the jurist system. No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor. Not quite that harsh. The jurists cooperate with the judge. They help analyze the case from different angles. Ah, and there will be only 6 of them under the current proposal, right? Wow, you know your stuff, Apollo! Their findings directly affect the verdict. Hopefully people will start taking the courts a little more seriously now. I feel like I'm on some kind of educational TV show, starring Dr. Wright! Dr. Wright, his assistant Trucy, and mascot Apollo, the perfect team. Mascot? Hey! Secret mission. So, what is the secret mission? The JIRS system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that new ideas like this system are always risky, Apollo. Too true. Everyone's got an opinion and they just talk and nothing gets decided. Kind of like you, Apollo. I'm not that bad. Am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. No more Japanese drama court. Oh. What? A test, if you will. I don't like tests. I think this might be the last, the end of this game. I'm not sure. We'll take a case as a sample and choose 6 jurists. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping? How? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the JIRS System's Simulated Court Committee. The chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case, the jurist candidates, even the judge in the courtroom. Wow, it's like you have a real job! I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer, I guess. The trial's tomorrow, by the way, don't miss it. The trial simulation, that is. A simulation, huh? Sounds interesting. So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Well, since it is the first run-through of our new system, I wanted something simple. Good thinking. No sense wearing yourself out on something too serious. True. The case is a murder. It's not simple at all. By simple, did you mean the defendant is guilty? Yes. Most likely. So, good luck, Apollo. With what? With the trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. Recall that I said it had something to do with you. Go for it, Apollo! It's just a test case. Anyway, no sweat. Yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. And a potentially serious sentence. The most serious in a worst-case scenario. Ugh! You mean the verdict's for real? That's not a test trial, that's a real trial! All the forms have been filed. There's no turning back now. The trial begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hope you can make room in your schedule. Why am I only hearing about this now? Ah yes, there was a change this morning. I picked a new case. Huh? Something that happened last night. Valiant Grammary. Hey Apollo, I know what you're all excited about that. Hey Apollo, I know you're all excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The Troop Grammary Grand Magic Show. Huh? Oh, right. The card tricks. They're not card tricks. They're grand illusions, miracles, the apocalypse. What? So what? That's 3 whole days from now. It's at Sunshine Coliseum. Let's go. Let's go today. We can say hi to Uncle Valiant. Have fun. What? I can't go by myself. You know I'm not very outgoing. Right. Why not go with her? But what about the secret mission? Oh, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow regardless. I don't trust that smile. He knows something that he's not telling me. Yippee! Now you can take me to the Coliseum. I suppose it wouldn't kill me to pop over there. Ah, Grammary. That reminds me. What's this, Daddy? Isn't that silk hat the Grammary seal? Consider it a birthday present, Trucy. Thanks! It's great! But today isn't my birthday. Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Huh? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. Then it's a Recycle Your Plastics present. Yippee! So it's plastic. I've given up trying to understand them. It's much easier that way. So what is it? Can I open it, Daddy? No. Whoa, look at his face. Huh? You'll need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then. Well, why didn't you just hold on to it until then? Because that would be the logical thing to do. Grammary envelope obtained. An envelope about the Grammaries, huh? Trial simulation. Alright, so what case are you going to use? You really want to know, don't you? Of course I do! I mean, I'm going to be defending, aren't I? If all goes well, then yes. Of course, this is just a test. We wanted everyone to start without preconceptions. A blank slate, as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and just being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was that, anyway? Well, mine! Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose I could give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good! That's better! But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case. What? Then how am I supposed to defend? You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial. All of it. But you don't want it to backfire, do you? Apollo, if I'm in charge of the whole trial, that means the entire affair is my responsibility, for good or for bad. Gosh, you look so serious. Just do what you can. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Alright. I'd recommend going down to the detention center. Your client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there. But you just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved. Oh, you can talk to your client. If you can get her to talk. Well, time's a-wasting. Alright. I need to show you something. Ah, presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. Showed my attorney's badge a lot, too. You may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before. You know me too well, Trucy. I'm glad I provided this opportunity for a little family bonding. $70? Well, I mean, I guess that's how much that kind of stuff costs. Are you ready, Apollo? Ready for what? For what? For the Troop Grammary Grand Magic Show! It's not like I'm getting up on stage or anything. What are you talking about, Apollo? You can't enjoy magic if you're not part of what's going on up on stage. I'll lend you my spare costume if you need one. Huh? You mean I can't go in this? No. It doesn't get more straightforward than that. Alright. Ah, looky here. A handwritten signature. It says... I can't read it. That seems odd to me. I mean, isn't a signature intended to show ownership? What's the use if no one can read it? Isn't it enough if you can read your own? Oh, I never thought of it that way. Alright. I guess let's walk around. Let's go to the detention center. October 7th, detention center visitors room. That's 20 minutes we've been waiting here. 20 minutes! Maybe I should complain. I'm sure that guard has better things to do than stand there pretending he doesn't see us. You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. It always works that way. Like shouting, "Oh, waiter!" and they're standing right behind you. Oh, guard! Is our client going to be much longer? What are you talking about? Haven't you already started the meeting yet? Huh? Oh. Eek! Are you awake, Shot? Whoa, where'd you come from? Well, anyway, please have a seat. I'm nervous, Apollo. It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why don't you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you? That's right. Okay. I'm the amazing Mr. Hat. Thud. She passed out. Ms. Magic Underwear might have been a better bet. That's Magic Panties, Apollo. Does she have, what is it? Fainting goat syndrome? Introductions. Hi. She's hiding that prop in her panties? Probably. Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know? And by fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign? I can tell you mine if you'd like, Apollo. No, never mind. I just got carried away there. I seem destined to get difficult clients, it seems. Your name? So what's your name? Oh, right. I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo. Apollo Justice. And I'm Trucy Wright. I know. This is getting nowhere fast. The case. Hey, I know. Maybe you can tell us what happened. I'm your defense attorney after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately? Well, the other day this tourist from out of town stopped to ask me directions. Later, Trucy. I feel like I need to ask directions myself here. Well, that was fruitless. Though, I think I understand despair a little better now. You did good, Apollo. What the hell is that? That's the weirdest condom I've ever seen. Look! She's doing her nails. Wait, what? What? Are nails more important than defense? Is that it? Let's go, Trucy. Excuse me. Could you read this? Sure. I feel like a teenager on a first date. And this is the love letter we passed from desk to desk at school. Stop looking so wistful and read it, Apollo. It's a business card with a name and an address. The name is Vera Misham? The address is for Drew Studio. Vera's card added to the court record. And you're giving me this card because... Oh, is she Vera? Well, looks like we're finished here. I wonder if Drew's studio is the scene of the crime. Let's go find out. Okay, I remember this case now. I don't remember it completely, I just remember doing it. Let's look around. The security camera stares down from the ceiling, all-seeing, unblinking. Not that I'm nervous or anything. The same old security guard is glaring at us. He winked! Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. I wonder if there's any fan fictions about that security guard. I'll have to find out. Let's see, I guess the studio, or should we go to the Coliseum? Nah, let's go to the studio. October 7th, Drew's studio. Wow, this looks like a studio. If there's not double escapements on the case. It's like life imitating art. Or maybe it's the other way around. But the tape on the ground there, it's a bit jarring. Yeah, looks like we found our crime scene. Apollo, look at all those paintings. Hey, don't touch those. It's okay, I'm just looking. Look at that butt. Ooh, I like that. Another butt! Huh? Apollo, look at this one. Looks half finished. You can still see the rough sketch underneath. But that's odd. The rough part doesn't look like the rest of the painting at all. Yeah, good point. That is odd. Drew Misham's paintings added to the courtyard. All the paintings have a really different style, too. Ah, I thought I might find you two here. Emma! Long time no see! Oh? Seems like I run into you guys far too often. I'll bet I know why you're here, too. You know about the trial simulation tomorrow? I've heard about it, sure. So Mr. Wright chose you, huh? We don't even know what the case is about. Well, he was killed. The artist who owns the studio, that is. He kind of looks like, Mr. Drew Misham. Misham? Kind of looks like, never mind. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Misham. And his daughter was put under arrest. Yeah, we just saw her at the detention center. It was funny, though. She seemed more like a victim than the kind of person who would commit murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning? That's how it was done, you know. Poisoning is a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. I don't know why they say that, but I guess it's common. It's not like I keep records of how many women poison people compared to men. Poisoning? Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over here with my snackoos. We can't talk to anyone related to the case. We can't talk to anyone related to the case this time around. Which means we'd better find out as much as we can here at the scene. Or else. Will it let me try to talk? So this Drew Misham was kind of some kind of artist? Apparently. Did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. Had a lot of female fans too, for what it's worth. Oh, well, I guess this stuff is kind of pretty. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah. That wasn't one of his illustrations, actually. Huh? So it was a standalone painting or something? Is that what she means? He was an odd bird, Misham. Hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. What do you mean, to anyone? He was always locked up here in this studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was through letters he'd put in that letterbox there. Letters? Do people still write letters? What do you mean, Apollo? I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? Don't most people use email and stuff these days? Not Mr. Misham. Couldn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? Alright, we got a letterbox. In any case, the only person besides him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer? The suspect, please. We took some fingerprints, of course. The only ones found in the room were Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Basically? Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever? Could you tell us a bit more about what happened the night of the murder? I thought we weren't supposed to talk to anyone else involved. But okay. But yeah, I'm starting to remember the case more and more. I remember what happened. Or what did happen. The defendant! So this woman, Vera, she's Mr. Misham's daughter, right? Yep, a real sickly girl ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. She did kind of give off a withdrawn sort of aura. She was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when they took her to the detention center. She was screaming about how she'd die if they took her outside. That does sound like a scene. In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently, she has this charm that magically gives her courage to go outside. Why can't I ever get a normal client? But why would a shut-in daughter kill her own dad? Don't look at me. So about the poison, it was found to be in his coffee, right? No, not precisely. Not precisely? What does that mean? It means see for yourself, I think. Night of the crime. Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside make for good articles. And it just so happened that he died the night of his first interview? Why isn't the interviewer the suspect? At around 9 p.m. every night, Vera always made him a cup of coffee. Last night he drank his usual coffee and suddenly became violently ill. And died? She poisoned him on the night of his interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? He wasn't near Mr. Mission when she brought her father his coffee. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. Supposedly, that's why she didn't notice he was there. It was the reporter who called the police, in fact. Wait, but why is she the suspect? If anyone is suspicious, it's the reporter. Yet the reporter never got near Mr. Mission's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that. Regardless, I want to know more about this reporter. Is it... I know they said it's a he, but it'd be funny if it was Lotta Hart. Lotta Hart, what the fuck you doing here? I thought you was dead down by the river. Alright, let's look around. Or actually, let's look at the court record quick. The defendant's business card, the address for Drew's studio is on the front. What a pretty business card. Looks like a postcard almost. And on the back, just her name. That seems odd to me. Huh? What does? Why write your name on the front and back of the card? Why not use the space on the back for a self-portrait? Or a caricature? Then people will remember what you look like, too. That's not a bad idea, actually. Here, give me one of your cards, Apollo. She's drawing something. Hey, my hair's not that spiky! I wish I could see that. The middle is supposed to be a person. Well, what do we have here? It looks like a person thinking about something. Maybe they're worried. Like, what should I have for supper? A hot dog or a hamburger? You know, I've always wondered about that. Why is there supper and dinner? Are they different meals? Or the same thing? Maybe that's what this person's thinking about. Look at that butt. I don't know why their butt has like pin cushions in it. I mean, it has pins in it like a pin cushion. Okay, obtain the Drew Studio an undersea scene in vivid colors. Is that a pufferfish? Apollo, that's clearly a porcupine fish. They're not the same thing? You know what gets me? They've got all these needles, right? But what's protecting that soft spot on the lower belly there? Nothing. Must remember to keep Trucy away from small round fish. So pretty. I'm trying to teach myself how to paint. Digital painting. I just can't get into it. It's so hard. Well, I'll keep trying whenever I get a chance. I'm always too busy doing other things, like the usual artwork I do for people. I still have like 5 more things to draw for my friend. I'm not complaining. The next things are really easy, so I won't be spending like weeks and weeks and weeks on it. This is something I could probably finish in the next 3 days. Let's see. We have finished. The rough sketch is still invisible. Let's look at it. Look at that big peach. Apollo, look at this painting. You can see the rough sketch. Oh, looks like it was only half completed. Huh? That's funny. Do the rough sketch and the finished painting look totally different to you? They do, actually. What's that all about? Although it's hard to tell from me, I don't know, it looks the same to me. Like if they were doing those kind of swirls in the sky, I don't know. That's kind of what that style looks like. Swirly looking. Better go back to basics. I actually got that art program that's supposed to be an homage to Deluxe Paint. That's on Steam. I don't remember what it's called. It might actually be called Deluxe Paint. I'm gonna look at it real quick. It just got an update. It's under applications or software. There we go. Swanky Paint is what it's called. I haven't used it yet. I'll have to try it. Maybe I'll stream it one day. My first time trying it out. Oh yeah. Drew mission's contact with the outside world. It's empty. Oh, I can't click on it or anything. Alright. I think that's it. Alright, let's look around. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. I just love oils. You know how they're so thick? Is that the word? These paints are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are. Yeah, and what's going on with this half-finished one? It must have been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below. That's what's so weird. The sketch part doesn't really fit the finished parts. I noticed. That is weird. That letterbox looks funny sitting inside a room like this. Let's take a look. Empty. The other half of that letterbox is actually connected to the outside of the studio. Mr. Mission would put his letters in there, and the postman took them away. Impressive that someone still writes letters in this day and age. Or wrote, rather. There's a painting behind here. Hey! There's a painting hidden behind here. Hey, you're right! What if it's embarrassing somehow and he didn't want anyone to see it? You certainly seem pleased by the possibility. Wait, what? Huh, it's so normal. That's hardly something to get mad about. Huh? What is it, Apollo? Well, doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. I'd better get a professional opinion on this. Hidden painting added to the court record. Let's look at the body, or where it used to be. Eek! Apollo! That's where the body was! That's the spot where Mr. Drew Mission passed away. He put the coffee mug to his lips, and the next moment, there's quite a bit of paint on the ground. See that half-painted painting there? He must have been working on that right up until the moment he died. Wow, a true artist to the end. Or maybe he started it a year ago and was procrastinating. Can we look at the palette? No. Excuse me. Let's drink this coffee. Ah, that's the victim's coffee mug. Aha! So the poison was in here. This is my first time seeing a real poisoned mug of coffee. I would hope so. Poisoned coffee? Not exactly. Actually, what do you mean? No traces of poison were found in the coffee. What? You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side after all. Coffee mug added to the court record. I think the cup itself is supposed to be laced with the poison. I imagine this coffee cup was for guests to use. Guests? Did the police already analyze this cup too? Not a trace of poison was found on that cup. So the killer was after Drew Misham alone. I don't think there's anything else on this side. Alright, what's that? What is all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. Looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood, too. Though his equipment's a bit old, to tell the truth. Why would a painter need all this? From the dust, I'd say he hasn't used this stuff for years. This corner doesn't fit with the rest of the studio. Oh, do you think I could borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin. This is a crime scene, Trucy. But these cost like 50 bucks at the magic shop. Let's see, is this a journal? Let's take a closer look at this desk here. Hey, Apollo, what's this feather thingy? Isn't that a pen? Like an old-fashioned quill pen? But it doesn't have a pointy end. That was most likely for sweeping detritus off the desk. That's like my favorite word to use, detritus. They finally used it. Wow, you sure know a lot, Emma. Bold and scientific, that's my motto. Exactly what about that was bold or scientific? Something about the way that figure is posed. I've seen that pose before. It's you, Apollo. See, you're making one of your flamboyant gestures. Please, I am a professional. I wonder why it's posed like that. Coincidence? So this is Drew Misham? And this little girl must be Vera. Yes, they took that some years ago. They look close. A happy little family. Until you arrested his daughter. Ack! Look, I was personally against that, okay? She just didn't seem very suspicious, scientifically speaking. Right. What's this little one? Ooh, cute! Look at the tiny frame, Apollo! Tiny is right. That thing's barely 2 inches high. What picture would fit in that? None, apparently. It's empty. There's no glass in it either. What's it doing sitting on the desk? This is a lesson for us all. Be sure to check the size when you buy frames. Is this a journal? Wow, talk about a clue. Let's read it. What is it, Apollo? He didn't write the name of the killer, did he? It's new. He didn't write a single line. Arg! You had me going for a while there. Oh, this is open. This envelope has been opened and resealed. Ooh, I know how to do that. You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam. The glue melts and it opens. Cool, huh? Whoever did this wasn't so delicate. You're right. Looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh? The postmark on this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would someone open a letter, then seal it again? I better hang on to this. Red envelope added to the court record. Alright, let's take a look at this. take a look at that peach. Yeah! Hey, Apollo, this painting. I know it. Huh? Really? It's that story where the old woman is doing the wash in the river. And this giant peach comes a-floating on down. That might possibly be the strangest thing I've ever heard. The victim's last mug of coffee. The scrawl on the side is Drew Misham's signature. Hey, look there! That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. It must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about. Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. No, the stain is probably... better ask Emma. Found in the victim's desk drawer appears to have been opened once and resealed. Apollo, look! It's been opened once here. You're right. I wonder if there's some way we can see what's inside. Should I try to get it open and stick it back shut? Let's not tamper with the evidence, shall we? I've got a better idea. Emma, let's ask her! You got a lot of things to talk to Emma about. I don't think there's anything else we can really look at. Look at all these paints, Apollo. There's so many! He's got like 20 kinds of red. You could repaint your suit, Apollo. How about this shade of green? That'll be enough of that, thanks! Do you have any blue badger? Alright, I think most anything else is going to be talking about the equipment. Except nobody gives a shit about what these O2 tanks are, or CO2? Go to bread. Alright, let's talk to Emma about stuff? Forensic science. I bet Emma could help us out here. Oh, I bet I was supposed to show the envelope to her. Don't forget, flattery will get you everywhere with her, Apollo. No snackoos will get you everywhere. Huh? What are you two whispering about? Well, I was thinking. I mean, what is it we always do when we run into you at a crime scene? What is it we always do scientifically? Ah, you know me too well. Okay, meaning we can get, scientific now? Oh, I suppose. Just this once. Bring me anything you find suspicious and we'll check it out. Alright. Emma, about this mug. There's a pale blue, residue on the rim. Huh? Ah! That. Yes, well, it's just a rumor, but I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain. I'm perfectly sure it isn't actually blue, Emma. Ah, right. Okay, you got me. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science! I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma. It's not a hobby. So what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? The spray! That's what? It turns blue when it touches poison. So the poison that killed the victim was on this mug? That's right. See? It wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself. Wow, science is amazing. It certainly is helpful. Maybe Emma'd be willing to help us out a bit more. You should try buttering her up, Apollo. They say flattery will get you everywhere. It's certainly worth talking to her a bit more. About poison analysis. I was afraid you were going to ask about that. See, the solution is used to test for atroquinine. Huh? Atroquinine, the deadly poison found in the autopsy. Uh-oh, I know that spark in her eyes. She's getting excited. Best tread lightly. It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. If she knew that, why would she think, oh, he took a sip and suddenly fell violently ill? That doesn't sound like the properties of this poison. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. Oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown... That's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details. I think I get it. You just spray this stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. I want to try too, Emma. Pretty please. You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yay, let's give it a whirl, Apollo. Ah! What are you doing? I was just seeing if I got a reaction off of you. How's this for a reaction? Never do that again! I'm not poisonous. Tell that to those hapless witnesses on the stand. Let's just get down to checking for real poisons, shall we? Oh. So we just kind of spray it into the air? Is that healthy? I don't know. Too bad. No reaction there. I'm sure Emma just checked out all the likely spots. Wait a second. What is it, Apollo? Did you spray that little desk over there? I don't think so. The spray probably can't reach that far, you know. Let's check it out, just to be sure. Okay. Ooh. Eek! A reaction, Apollo! Ah! Where? Where? The inside of that cute little frame, look! Wow, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy. I'm known to work magic. Never mind that I was the one who found it. Tiny frame added to the court record. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? It looks like we found the only other place that was poisoned, in any case. Alright, let's present... What? Let's look at this. Looks like you have to take this back part off first to put a photo inside. It had to be a really small photo to fit in there. True. And that pale bluish stain. Why would there be poison in a place like this? Well, there's one obvious reason. Whoever put poison in the coffee rubbed a bit on here, too. That's not very obvious, Trucy. I want to... Well, can we talk to her? No. Let's present... Whoops, not that. This. Emma, about this. Oh, that! Yes, why, that's a bright red envelope! Sure is jumpy. Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed. Your lips are sealed? That's a first. You mean, you know what's inside the envelope? Sure, I read it after all. Ah, you mean you were the one who ripped this open? Please, I would have steamed it open. But you did sneak a peek at it, apparently. Know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. Weapon? Yes! The use of tools. Highly specialized tools for information gathering. Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors. Never heard that one, but it's good advice. Let's try talking to her some more. About that envelope we found. I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning. You want to know about my tool, do you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. X-ray, like the X-rays you get at the dentist? That's right, at least that's what I call it. Huh? It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray spectralization something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So basically it lets you see inside things, like envelopes. That's right, here's sharp, Chusi. But it's a bit more complicated than that. In practice, of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works, scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma? Please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo. Yarg, what are you doing? Oh, just seeing if I could see through your hair, but it's like lead. Point that thing at me anymore and it might fall out. Then I wouldn't need an X-ray machine to see through it. Let's just get down to business, shall we? Right, let's test it on a sample first. It just so happens that I have a lottery ticket here. You set the sample in the device like so. I don't see anything. Patience! There's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? You've got it set to display the outside of the envelope now, see? Actually, it's quicker to just have you give it a try. Turn that dial there for me, would you? That's right. That's how you choose what depth you want to scan. Hey, I got something. See? That's how you read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh? Except I can't read them. Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that a sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in that much, you see that paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Wow, really? This X-ray device uses a beam with a microwave length of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers, so it can only show what's written on that layer. I'm not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything? That's why we go on to step 2. Try rubbing the image a bit, if you would. The image? You mean rub the screen? There, that fixes the image on the screen. Now turn the dial again, just a little. Good, now you can rub the image to fix it too. Hey, I get it. We just keep doing this until we've got the whole thing. Exactly, not bad. Neat. Let's do some more. Alright. Am I going the wrong way? I don't think I need all the outside. Looks like 0049, you lose. Alright, I got it, I think. Or did it really want me to do everything? Okay, let's print this one out. Ouch, you lose. At least you know where you stand, eh? Anyway, now you see the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Now let's try it on the real thing, shall we? No, I don't do the lottery. My dad sometimes gets us lottery tickets for Christmas that he stuffs in our Christmas stockings. That is the only time I ever play the lottery. Alright, let's print this one out. Dear Drew, I'm sure they'll tell me in a second. Someone deposited $100,000 into Mr. Misham's account? His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in there. Care to take a look? You bet I do! If you're going to read someone's mail, you might as well read it all. Here goes with the second page then. Oh, this takes forever. Okay, let's print this one out. So, it was a letter about payment for one of his paintings. Why all the secrecy, though? And what? Why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right? Maybe it had some special significance to him. Well, Emma? Well, indeed. She knows something she's not telling us. Looks like she's keeping mum about it. Right, it's updated. So Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story the night of the crime? I'm afraid I can't tell you because he's going to be a witness tomorrow, I hear. I thought so. I'll never forget that face, but what was his name? Oh, right. Brushel? Brushel. He's after a scoop to sell to the papers, so a reporter comes for an interview with a painter. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed. Seems strange to you? Really strange. It does raise a few questions. I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could. Well, I hear he's on the beat today, too. He said something about covering a magician. Magician? Well, if it's not Trucy, that leaves only one other person. It wasn't Valiant Gramarye by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got some big show lined up, I hear. So he's out interviewing Valiant Gramarye. Looks like I'll be heading out to that Coliseum again sooner than I thought. Here, I'll give you that reporter's card, if you want. Brushel's card added to the court record. See, you don't either. When people buy them for you, you might scratch them off, but even if you win, you can never be bothered to bring them in. Of course, I never won much. I think I've given a few winners to other people. I've only ever really won like $2. And it would be like, my dad would give us the money and he would cash in the cards himself. I don't know. I mean, unless it was big money. I mean, nobody has ever won big money in my family. Let's see. I want to look at this painting. Can we look at this in your machine? About this painting. Oh, that? Quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry. I guess she wants us to do a little footwork on her own first. Well, what about this painting? Oh, Emma, I was wondering about this painting here. That one? What about it? What about it? Yeah, what about it, Apollo? Take a closer look at it. Both of you. Now look at this one. This is the third painting he was working on. Hey, they're the same. I was hoping you wouldn't find that. You're right, though. Drew Misham was copying this painting. Wow, it's pretty good. Copying a painting? What for? Oh. Can we talk to her about it? Or... Well, maybe if we show her that painting again, she'll let us look at it. That wasn't a good enough reason? My poor husband must be working late. I haven't seen him say anything. He's working overtime, so he's been there for a very long time. 12 hours? It really sucks whenever he has to stay late during overtime. How was that not enough evidence? Why can't we look at what's under the paint? Oh, there he is! Yay, he's coming home! So yeah, I guess it'll be it for tonight. I want to thank you guys for watching me play Apollo Justice. You're dying here, but you're coming home. Yay! But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more Apollo Justice. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. So, take care and have a good night. Bye-bye!